What's up, YouTube? Just gonna do a quick video with an update on the newest inhabitants, if you will, in my collection, which is the 5 ornate box turtles, along with, we'll go inside and take a look at the 2 leopard tortoise hatchlings I have. So these guys are doing great out here, and I figured we'd just get a little feeding on video. They're not shy typically about eating. I know in my first video they weren't real hungry when I first brought them home. And please ignore the dirty water dishes. I'm going to do those as soon as we're done making this video. But you can tell these guys, or I'm sorry, girls, as 4 of them are girls and I have 1 male, just come right out, and they are voracious eaters when it comes to worms. I feed them, night crawlers. I feed them super worms. It's really fun to watch them hunt down super worms. And then fruits and veggies. They really like cantaloupe. They really like their cantaloupe. Not so big on as many of the veggies, but they do eat them, and I do feed veggies. They don't really seem to like the spineless prickly pear cactus. I have some I've actually planted in here. Well, actually, I could be wrong. It looks like they've been munching on that piece right there. So that is good news. Might need to section off this piece over here to get it to grow in here. I've just got so much of it. I ordered 5 pounds from Southern Reptiles, and it's just going a long way. So let's find where some of these other guys, or girls, I'm sorry, are. Here is the 3-toed male, who also lives in here with them. I know I'm filming through the mesh right now, and I apologize, but it's all I can work with at the moment. I can only have one side up at a time. Let's just take a guess of where the other ornates may be. Typically they're hiding among this rock pile. Oh, I believe my male back here in the corner. Yes. Hey, buddy. Just getting you out for feeding. So 1, 2, 3, 4 females and the male. So that is all. That is all of my ornates. As you can see, they're doing well. My male has a little bit of a overgrown beak, and hopefully with time that'll wear down on its own. And if not, I will file it down myself. But these guys are they're fast becoming some of my favorite and that I own, just because they're so personable. They have a lot of personality, and they're always out. Anytime I walk up to the enclosure, they come out thinking I'm going to feed them. I've seen no aggression between any of the females. No aggression between any of the females or the males, or the male and my 3-toed male that's down in that cave. From what I can tell, everybody's getting along just great. A little bit of food aggression, but I think that's just natural feeding response. As you can see, I think the male's trying to go after what some of the females are eating, instead of the one right here that I've given him. Let's see if that'll get his attention. And he just may not be hungry. He could have been the one that was chewing on the cactus over here. It's funny, when you put some pieces of cantaloupe down, they'll grab pieces and all try and run away. But I'm going through earthworms pretty fast. I buy them about 18 18 count at a time, and typically I'll feed them earthworms twice a week, and I'll make sure everybody gets like 1 or 2, and then I'll just dump the remaining earthworms in the enclosure. I'm sure this thing is seeded with earthworms if I just started digging around, but I'm sure the box turtles have no problem searching them out and scratching them out. But let's give the big female one more, and then we'll just kind of dump them. But I am going to start possibly looking at setting up a worm farm, with native earthworms, just because I think they'll do better in my conditions that I have here in Southeast Texas. And also, maybe buying them in bulk, because these guys just love earthworms so much. I do like to feed superworms too, because of the hunting response. The superworms will start crawling away as soon as they hit the ground, and these turtles start scrambling all over to go chase them down, which is very fun to watch. But I fed superworms a couple of days ago, so I figured we'd feed earthworms today. So I'm just going to take this box, chunk it in like that. There's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or so more earthworms or night crawlers. Some of them might escape and dig into the soil, but I'm guessing most of them are going to get eaten up by the turtles before they have that opportunity. I'm going to drop one more over here for my 3-toed. He's being a little lazy and doesn't want to come out. But yeah, these guys are doing great. I really wish this male would eat, but maybe he's not hungry, but that's okay. He might just be letting his females eat. He's kind of claimed this territory over here for himself. So I've planted the broadleaf testudo mix in here. It's kind of sprouting up, as you can see. I just got some African grazers seed mix I'll probably scatter in here as well. And we'll go take a look at the leopard tortoises right now. So hang tight. Alright guys, and the last stop on today's video is to check out our new leopard tortoises. I hate to wake this one up, but this is the one we got from the Herps show. He's probably about 1 year old, and he is just a voracious eater. This guy loves to eat. So didn't want to just have one, if you haven't gathered that by most of my other animals. So we got this guy, little guy from Southern Reptiles out of Boca Raton, Florida. You can check them out on Facebook, and there is a noticeable size difference, but I've seen 0 bullying. This guy is probably 3 or 4 months old. This guy or girl is probably closer to 1 year. But their coloration is so different. I think they go really well together. And I tell you what, these guys are eaters. They eat probably twice as much as the redfoots do. So we'll see if they'll eat on camera. They might be a little shy. But today I'm just feeding some romaine, some red leaf lettuce, some orchard grass hay that I finally shredded in the blender. And I got it as fine shredded as possible. And I just dampen that. And then I've got so much of this spineless cactus around that I just chop it up and make it a little bit easier for him to eat. But I swear these guys would eat all day long if I let them. So this is about the average size food dish I give them, and by this time tomorrow there'll just be scraps left. We went out of town Saturday, Sunday, and so I just threw a piece of cactus in here, and it was probably twice this size. They've been nibbling on it, so I've just left it in here. I have a small piece planted in the back to see if it'll grow any. I doubt it. These guys will probably start munching at it immediately. I had planted some of the broadleaf testudo mix in here, and they've pretty much mowed it down, which I knew they would. So I think I'm going to build a kind of like a raised landscape box in the backyard and plant some of the African grazers mixed grass on one side of it and the testudo mix on the other side, and that way I'll make like sort of a playpen for the leopards or for my redfoots when I take them out there, and they can kind of graze naturally and they'll start getting some sunlight. It is the end of September, but it's still 90 degrees here during the day, so they should be fine for a few more months. Maybe not a few more months, probably like another month or so. But these guys are doing great. You know, they got a little calcium mixed in today. I soak them about 3 times a week. I don't mist these guys as heavily as I do the redfoots, but I still mist them about twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. I just don't do it as heavily as the redfoots. Have my spider plant that they spend most of their time kind of hiding up against the pot that it's in. I've never actually seen them in their hide, and you know, they're out and about a lot more often than the redfoots. The redfoots are definitely more interested in hiding during the day. These guys are all over. Sleep under the basking area. It usually stays about 95 degrees, but does fluctuate up, you know, down to about 90 degrees sometimes up to 100 degrees, and the other side stays about 75. So they have a cooler side and they can hide in the shade under here, and I think they're doing great. Somebody might tell me otherwise, but they eat, they poop, they drink. I think they do everything tortoises are supposed to do. So we're just going to stick with the 2 of them for now. I don't think we're going to do 3 like we did for the redfoots. But I'm making a video, Bubba. Sorry, my 3-year-old son likes to make an appearance in my videos lately, if you've been watching. But can't wait for these guys to grow up and become 4-legged lawnmowers so they can live out back. Same thing with the redfoots. And we're just going to keep making videos, so continue to watch the channel, and I appreciate everybody who's subscribed, and let's just keep those subscriptions coming. So hang around and I'll have more videos posted soon. Thanks.